I think I really struggle with burnout.
You
That's
do?
my
You burn out
yes,
really easy?
yes.
Yeah.
Like I go, and then I burn out,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm like, okay, let me go back.
Welcome to the Good Advice Podcast. Today we have our guest, Claudia de Lara, part of our team. Claudia, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
It's been a long time coming. One of the reasons that you caught my attention and why we're here right now is because you've been doing very, very well in your real estate business, and like for instance, this past month, I mean, closing 6-7 transactions in 1 month. It's not easy. It's not an easy task. How were you able to accomplish it?
Honestly, I didn't put much thought into it. It was just kind of like, this is the end goal. Like, I wasn't keeping count. It was just kind of like, I have these clients that I need to take care of. Like, we need to take care of them now. If they want to go see a house right after church, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go see the house. And that's pretty much like just what my thought process was.
You know what? A lot of times that's the best process
Yeah.
when you're like not overthinking it.
Mhm.
Service comes first. Like, hey, I have these clients that they're ready to go. Let's get started, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's the best way to approach it. A lot of times when we have too many clients and we're overthinking the process, I feel that you're more stagnant. Like you stay stagnant. You're not moving right.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, all right, I have these clients. Let's get started.
Yeah.
Now, just a few questions that I have for you, and we'll get to know you a little bit better. I know are you from here or no?
Yes.
Born and raised?
Born and
Born and raised. And your family?
My family's from Aguascalientes.
Aguascalientes.
Mhm.
So they've been here for many years, I suppose?
Yeah, since I think my dad's he came to Cali when he was 15.
15?
And then he went back and then met my mom, the whole thing. And then I think they've been here ever since, so like 23 years.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's been I think been here for 24 years, so about the same.
Oh, the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, closing 7 transactions with different families throughout the process, it can be overwhelming, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you maneuver the whole process of showing them houses and then going from one family to another family, offers, inspections, and just everything?
I don't know.
You're like, I just did it.
I just did it. It was like, it was hard. It was hard for sure, especially to maintain the good service that I want to be with every single client. You know, obviously it's a lot easier to do that when you only have 2 or 3 and you're like, okay, I can give you top-notch service. But when you have 7 already looking and then other people texting you and asking, hey, I want to get pre-qualified or I want to work with you, it gets a little difficult, So I hired an assistant.
Okay, that's
she helped,
great.
yeah, she helped me, stick with my follow-up so I don't let the clients that are in the nurture process slip. And then that way I can like solely focus on the 6-7 that I had home searching right now. And then I would also, I had my days where I was like, okay, I'm gonna send them homes this day, or I'm gonna follow up on this specific day for this specific person.
Right.
And I'm gonna schedule showing 2-3 days out and kind of give them that time frame. I'm like, okay, let me know by this day so that I can schedule them and then get all that sorted out.
Do you know, like by what, for instance, when I used to show a lot of houses to a client, or when I still do every once in a while, but not as much as I used to. But when I did, I will know like by the second or third time at the most going out and looking, like we're gonna be finding the one. Is that the same case? Like you once you have an idea what they're looking for and what they want, then you know that by the second time or latest third time they'll go under contract.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, because even if they send me homes and I see something specifically that they told me they didn't like about the last one, I'd kind of tell them like, okay, I don't know if this is the right home to look at because it has the same issue that you didn't like about the past home. If they really insist, then we go see it. And then plus I don't send them homes. I don't send them like all the homes that fit their qualifications. I filter them out personally based off of like what I think they will like.
Well, based on what they have told you, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And that's a great point because but people do change their mind.
Oh no,
People change their mind when they're like, all right, well, we want this and that, and all of a sudden they're sending you this house that has nothing to do with what they asked for, and they end up going with that house, right? So it's hard to know. But let's get started with a couple of questions that we have for you. One of them, I think this is a great one. What made you jump into the world of real estate?
To be honest, and I know this is not like the ideal answer, I did it kind of impulsively.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously my parents are business owners. So it was kind of like, it wasn't scary for me jumping into it because I knew it was possible, like being on your own and not having like someone, like a boss. But when, like, growing up, my dad was always like, you're going to go to college. Like, we came here. You need to follow like the typical American dream type of thing. And I was like, okay, like, got good grades and the whole thing. And then once it came down to like applying for scholarships and all of that, and it was kind of like, okay, well, my only option is taking a leap year. And then once I have my 2 years of taxes, then I'll apply for the scholarships on my own. And then that year came and everything changed. So that was pretty much like the process of it.
Okay, so so why real estate though?
Because in the job that I was at, there was investors.
Okay.
And they would come and they would talk about real estate, and they would always be like, oh, I think you would be a good realtor.
All right, there you go.
And it was pretty much that. But when I got the course and I paid for it and everything, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, absolutely nothing. I had no idea what a realtor did. I had no idea of nothing.
You're like, all right,
So
I'm just going to
like,
do this and figure it out.
I'm like, I need to do something. So, I mean, I guess I can give this a shot. And it was kind of like, I'll do the course. I'll give it a try. And if I like it, I like it. If not, then I will be in the same spot I was at.
Yeah, before, and then trying to go back to school.
Yeah, exactly.
I think most people that is in real estate, they go through the same process. You know, they're like, all right, do I go to school? Do I, try this whole thing that is selling houses? Like, what is that gonna look like? Because growing up, when I purchased my first house, most of the agents were older Asians, right? Like older individuals. And just having somebody at 20 years old, 21 years old, selling, representing families with the whole process of buying or selling a house is a huge decision. That was a little intimidating, and that's why but once you put yourself against the wall, I think that's when you're like, all right, this, like, I'm already here, might as well just give it a shot and do my best, right?
Yeah.
And it has worked out, right?
Yeah.
How long it's been since you've been licensed?
Literally, it just been 2 years, like this last August.
Okay, 2 years. And what's to come? What is it now that you've seen some success in real estate? Are you planning just to do this for the long run? What like, have you thought about what's gonna be your plan in the next 5 years per se?
That's a good question. I mean, going into real estate, my whole thing was like, oh, I want to own properties. Like, I want to own properties. I want to have my houses, rent them out, whatever. But I think now, just in the aspect of being, my own boss type of thing. I mean, like, ideally open up a boutique, like start my own team type of thing. Not to leave.
Yeah.
Not to leave.
Wait, we can team up.
But like stuff like that, you get into the space and you're like, okay, let me start thinking big and let me start thinking about more.
What's next?
Yeah, like, I mean, I would obviously love to still own like a boutique or a separate business and still do this just because I genuinely do like it.
When you say boutique, a boutique of
like clothes.
Okay, like a clothing boutique. All right. Yeah, that's nice. You know what? That's one of the things that I have never done, like going to a whole different business. I mean, I really like real estate. I do real estate 24/7. So, but having just a separate business that you love to do, then I think it can be successful, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta be very careful not to allow any shiny objects take it away from what you've done so far. Just carry this, and eventually if you can have the help to be able to support the next business, then by all means, that's when you start developing yourself into other aspects in business.
Yeah.
Now, who was your biggest influence in making this decision into getting into being your own boss, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they're like, all right, well, I'm not gonna go to college, or I'm not ready to go to college. I'm gonna go and find a job, right? Like, well, besides listening to those individuals that talked about real estate, was there any other individual that influenced you to be your own boss?
I don't think there was anyone like in particular. Like, there was no one that I'm like, okay, I look up to that person, I want to be exactly like them.
Yeah.
I think it was just like people in general, like business owners in general, where like you work for a company or you work for someone else and you're capped. Like, whatever you make, you're capped. You're gonna get your paycheck. You know where you're gonna get paid based on the hours you work. And I think it was just the idea of like, okay, you can make as long as you work hard, you can make as much money. Like there's no set number as to what you can make, you know. But I mean, I guess if I need to like pinpoint it to like an individual, it would be probably my parents.
Yeah,
Just
because
because
they're business
they
owners,
do,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and that's what I was thinking because when we started this interview, you mentioned about your parents that they own their own business. So I thought I'm like, all right, more than likely, it'll be your parents. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Now, what aspect of your business do you think is responsible for your success?
I think social media.
Social media.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like, I wish I had social media like when I started real estate. I mean,
Yeah.
back in the day, there was just radio, TV, newspaper, magazines, postcards. But social media has changed the game
Yeah.
completely, 100% completely. Like if you're a realtor and you're not doing social media,
Something's
you're
up.
you gonna be squeezed out completely because everyone is on social media, looking, browsing, scrolling, and they come across your page and they're like, hey, boy, next time I want to buy a house or sell a house, I'm gonna reach out to Claudia. So yeah, no, definitely, I think real estate is a huge aspect. I wish I had it, but I didn't. But props to you that you're taking full advantage of it. I mean,
Yeah.
most of your business comes from social media, right? Now, here's another great question that we came up with. And, Cesar always comes up with all these amazing questions that gets me to talk. If you had to never worry about money again, what would you be doing?
I would be traveling. I
Traveling?
love to travel. Yeah. I would be traveling. I would be going everywhere.
Now, when you say traveling, because I mean, you can travel the world in about a year if you really wanted to, or maybe a couple of years, right? And then what?
I mean, that's a good
Right?
point. I think traveling, but with the purpose, I think, because I don't know, I love helping people. I think I would want to like start organizations to help like either in Mexico or in like South Africa or something like that, or even like where there's been like, I don't know, like the terrorist attack. I would love to be able to like go out and help and be a resource, and just do what I can.
Just participate in nonprofits and just being there. Besides, obviously, traveling will be one aspect, and then all at the same time, you can go and help. So that's a great way to put it. Now, what aspect do you think needs improvement to get where you need to go to the next level? Like where in what part of your business do you need to improve so you can business be better, faster, and stronger the following year?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is where like everything is different because I have the social media part, I have the systems part. Like as far as like my, how I handle my systems, that's good. I think it's just the whole burnout situation.
Getting burned out because you get busy and you're like, man. So this is where I suggest to start like teaming up with agents. For instance, I have sold many homes with just one showing agent that was like my to-go person, and he'll do the showings 100%, and I'll be the negotiator. So that way because one client can take 2 to 3 hours just showing, right? And then having to come back and negotiate the offer. Now you gotta be on top of it so that offer goes through depending on the negotiation that you're doing. So just to give you a quick advice or a suggestion, having somebody that you can team up with, that can be your strictly showing agent, and then you can come up with your splits however you want based on the work that they're gonna be putting in. But that individual has to be 100% committed to your business, right? Because you do very well, you do have a lot of clients. Now taking just a step back to have somebody help you, it's a game changer because now you have more time to dedicate to create more, right? More clients, more communication with them, being in front of them all the time, as opposed to not being able to answer your calls or text messages or emails because you're busy showing houses, right? And obviously you won't be able to do both at the same time. So I think that can be another a portion of your business that you can probably tap into. Have you tried or no?
No, just because I don't know how like how would clients react if they feel as if like you're not putting in the time to go show them homes? You know what I mean?
So if you're meeting with your client, and just to give you some reference, if you're meeting with the client and you're doing the buy broker consultation, you're explaining the process, and then you have Mary right next to you, which is your right arm, right? And Mary will do all the showings for you. You're still gonna pick the houses. You're still gonna say, "Hey, here are the houses I want to show you." You do a group message with Mary. You're showing agent, right? Let's just call it Mary, and Mary can be on top of it, scheduling, showing them, and once they find the right house, then you can jump on it and start negotiating. So you're still gonna be like the person going, but it's not really you. It's Mary,
like
but
your
you gotta
team.
stay in very very close communication. So after showing, hey, Mary, what's up? How'd it go? Which one did they like? They like 123 Main Street. Okay, perfect. Hey, John, I see. Mary mentioned that you like 123 Main Street. This is the negotiation we can do, right? Based by that time, you already know you already run the comps. You already have an idea what to negotiate, right? And it makes it a lot faster because now Mary can jump into the next appointment, and then you can stay with the negotiation with your client, or with if they're ready to put an offer. So that will give you a whole lot more time to be able to tackle more and have less of a burnout over time. So try it out. It's not easy because you don't want to give your clients away. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to be the one doing
Yeah.
it, right? But you'll be surprised. I mean, we have had great agents here within the team that can assist you, and just having the one that you can count on is the biggest game changer. Is the biggest difference. For instance, let's say you're going out of town this weekend and somebody wants to look at the houses on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. How are you gonna do this? And if you don't do it, they still want to look at houses.
Yeah.
Have you lost a client just by not being available?
I haven't.
No,
No,
okay,
I
that's
haven't.
great.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to have. But some people are eager to start looking at houses, and they might end up going with the new build, and they end up signing up with the new build. But that's just an aspect of the business where it can help you not getting burned out.
Yeah.
Because if you want to be there every step of the way, I get it. We all want to be there, but we have help that can assist you and be able to, as a matter of fact, do more. So give it a shot. I don't know.
It can be like thinking about.
it can be a great way to start your next year. Your next
boutique.
or your boutique, and start the next quarter because it's coming up. Like last quarter of 2024 is coming up soon. So this is a great way to start preparing for it, right? Okay, now this is a good one. What do you think a 75-year-old Claudia will tell you if she were here today? If she was here today?
I think she would say like, I did not imagine this. Just because again, like I grew up thinking my life was gonna be strictly like, I guess like the rat race type of thing. When you go
Always
and,
chasing.
yeah, or like you have your job and you're comfortable and like that's it. And not being like literally completely opposite of like exactly what I thought it was and turn out, I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, this is risky, this is scary,
I mean, don't get me. Yeah, we can remove this from our podcast if we wanted to.
It's okay.
But how old are you? You're 20.
I'm 22.
22. Oh my, Claudia, there's nothing to worry
I
about.
know. I know. That's what I tell myself all the time because I'm like, if anything happens, I still have a couple years too.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you've done well in 2 years. Just
Yeah.
think about it. If you stay consistent and you just, continue to do what you're doing in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. Like, it's, as long as you stay consistent and start putting like people to help you, so you don't get that burnout. Because letting go of your business is it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you have clients that are calling you, you're like, I'm too tired to answer now.
No, I know.
You have to like figure out a way to not to get burned out. As a matter of fact, to have more of the fuel that is gonna help you, help more families.
Yeah. And I think that's what I'm learning for sure. That's my biggest thing that I've learned with having my own business is like, yes, you have it, but you need help.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the hardest thing for me to learn, just because it's always like, okay, like you do everything on your own, like it's not right for you to get help type of thing, you know? Like if you let somebody else help you, you're gonna lose control of like whatever is you already built type of thing, you know?
There's a book. It's called The E-Myth. I don't know if you heard of it. So the E-Myth, it talks about, owning a business.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, let's say you open a restaurant, right? You're the chef. You're the manager.
Mm-hmm.
You're the dishwasher. You're the
the server,
the cashier, right?
Yeah.
So you wear every hat in the business, right? At what point can you get bigger and better, right? Because if you continue to wear every hat of the entire business, there is no way that you're gonna be able to serve more people. And then what's gonna happen to your business?
You're gonna go that.
Crash and burn, right?
Yeah.
Crash and burn, because you're gonna get burned out. There's only so much that you can do. We as a real estate, we are the same thing. Like we're marketing, we're transaction coordinators, we are showing agents, we are listing agents, we are
therapists.
Like we wear every single hat. So at some point, there's something that you do that has helped you. Now you can start figuring out like, all right, what's the next hat that I can start passing on so that I don't have to wear it ever again. And that's when you start putting your manuals together. Like, all right, if I hire a showing agent, how do I want her to work? Or what's it gonna look like? And then you have to like put it in writing. So that way, if you do hire someone, you know what the standard is. And if that individual doesn't work, then moving on to the next, right? Because it's gonna happen. But trying to wear every hat throughout your entire career, it's almost impossible. And that's why a lot of agents stay in the business for many, 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 many years, doing a very minimum amount of business, just because they never let go of everything that we do as an individual.
Yeah.
So.
No, that makes sense.
Check out the book, The E-Myth.
The E-Myth. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
gonna
great book.
it right now.
Yeah, it's a great book. But Claudia, thank you for joining us. It was a great podcast. We wish you the best. I know you're gonna do great. Last quarter is coming up, and thank you for being part of it.
Thank you.
Congrats. All right, everyone. So we had Claudia today. If you like this episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends. The next one, I'll see you soon.